And we're live.
Yay! There's the mean snowman.
Hello,
Hi, Darren.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone else hanging around. It is most definitely time for Linux Weekly Daily Wednesday. How's everybody doing, man? So, Jill, just because that snowman looks a little different, why do you assume it's mean? Is that how you operate in life? You're like, oh, that looks a little different. That person must be mean.
It has a nasty expression.
Yeah, that is, huh? All right.
So, I just...
Well, we learned something about Jill. You better meet her cosmetic standards, or else she will just assume you're mean.
You're just mean.
What's everybody doing?
It could just be grumpy, right? Having a bad day.
Yep. Frank's definitely, he's got a Santa hat on, man. He's getting ready to, traditional jack-o'-lanterns for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's down. He's down. He knows how to celebrate. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, this is my Christmas decoration.
What
Singular?
is that?
Oh.
It's a red reindeer.
It's a red reindeer.
Aw.
What
With,
house are you from, Mateus?
It's not the stag, so not a House Baratheon.
All right, fine. Oh.
Hi, Brother Jellybean. Aw, hello, Evan. How are you doing?
Is everybody alive and well? How are we holding up for December? I know it's hard to keep track of months, isn't it? You're like, oh, right, people are doing that thing now.
We're on full lockdown again here in Cali, so it's been challenging. It's challenging now to go get groceries and stuff. We're back to full. Stay at home.
Good morning. What time is it in New Zealand?
8 in the morning?
9:02 a.m.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right, summer. Daylight savings.
Yeah, I miss Evan too. I wanted to take him again and go with him again to downtown Disney, but it's just open for 20% shopping now. Because they actually opened up California Adventure at Buena Vista Street for shopping and outside dining. That's gone, except for some shopping. That's it.
They're still keeping the shops open?
Yeah, which I was surprised about. I thought they would close them, but they kept them open.
Joel, get your microphones off to the left side.
Oh, okay.
Tilt slightly.
Okay. There we go.
How many time zones does New Zealand have, Pedro? Guess.
3, maybe 2.
2.
Yeah. I was just going by the length of the island. It's like 2, 3 ish.
Everyone, I'll let you know a interesting subreddit are maps without New Zealand.
That's interesting.
When I was in primary school, the world map still had the USSR on it.
That's, well, I don't know. I mean, you're right on the edge. Like if you were a child, it was still a thing.
Yeah.
80s. Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, and I miss you too, Brother Jellybean. This lockdown has not been fun. This one has kind of really affected me more because it's the holidays. It's hard to get Christmas gifts, and I've always done most of my Christmas shopping online anyways, but I like to go and support the local stores. I like to go to the mall. Mall is closed. So
this boils down to I like going to the mall, man.
I know. Well, I like part of with my family when I like presents for them. I like to go to the geeky stores at the mall and just kind of like, my brother would
Yes,
like
I
that,
do
or
like the
Evan
mall
would like
food.
that. And it's easier to shop that way than it is, on Amazon. You got to know what you want for someone, or shopping online. So it's a little more challenging.
Exactly. You like going to the mall. I get it.
Yeah. Especially at Christmas time because it's so pretty and decorated and all the Christmas music. Everyone's happy.
I'm good.
No, I like going to the mall at like 4 p.m. because there's no one there.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be no one there at that time. Now there's no one there ever.
Ever. Yeah, Steve and I would often go before Black Friday. We'd go the 2 weekends before on Sunday night. It was perfect. Just enough people to make it festive, but quiet enough to there was no lines.
Yeah, no, 4 p.m. and then stop at first stop is always Burger King. Grab myself a burger.
Thing. We always call it Burger Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going to be on the mic, Jill?
I moved it.
Yeah, you're still talking. Well, when you're regularly talking, you're talking to the right of it.
Am I right?
You're right.
Okay.
So if you move it over to the right.
I see. Okay, I think I'm seated in a little different position as what's going on.
We just want to make sure you're right on it because I got it dialed in. So when you're off, it drops your volume significantly on this end. I just needed to know.
Okay. Yes. In fact, I will go take a break real quick, come back and make sure I'm sitting in a little different location. That's why.
All right.
Okay.
An endangered pastime. Let's see. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't
Can't
mind.
really go to the mall anymore.
People generally have the common sense to leave me the hell alone when I'm out and about.
I don't know. Apparently, to some people, I'm not really approachable, but to just the random strangers in Tesco's, I'm really approachable because they ask me a lot of questions. Like,
they just assume you work there.
But I'm not wearing the dark blue Tesco get up.
I didn't get to the reason why they assume that. No, I see, like most normal people, I do everything possible to avoid any family interaction during the holidays.
Yeah. I will probably have to go visit at some point because I've managed to dodge the whole visiting because, oh yeah, the coronavirus.
Pandemic, baby. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can't make it.
But yeah, no.
My sister will give me static. My mom's like, yeah, do your own thing. You got to rock and roll. But my sister's like, you need to come visit. You know, it's like, you buy me a round trip ticket. And put me up somewhere that's not your house. 7.76262. All right, that's good. Jordan, if you're listening, send me your outdoor session folder so I can tune it for you. See, Pedro, that's one of the neat things you can do once you have outdoor set up. You can just send me your session folder and I can go over it and remix it so you'll have a perfect live stream.
Well, to have a little bit of free time because...
That's not free time. You're scared.
I'm not scared.
Terrified. He's shaking right now just thinking about it. You can't see it. It just doesn't come through via WebRTC. It's the anti-shake filter we have on Jitsi.
It's just that I need to learn it, and yeah. Time has been a precious commodity lately. I hope, but that week rolling into Christmas, I'll have a little bit of free time, and I will be off in between Christmas and New Year's, so could be.
Could. He's going to be too busy with his Pine Book review.
I might finish that. But yeah, that's just a matter of actually getting the results from the Raspberry Pis, the two of them, and just putting some graphs together.
Okay. I've been lazy, man. I get pre-production done on 2 videos, but I haven't gotten down to principal photography. Means I haven't recorded them yet.
Photography with principles?
It's cleaning off. It's my desk. Cleaning off. Everything's wireless, too. I mean, come on. These are Pedro-level excuses I'm putting up.
I'm just lazy. That's my general excuse.
It's like I have to pick up 3 wireless things and set them over here. Then go get the camera and set it up and the lights. But it's the holidays, man. I want to get some basic things filmed out for some people.
And I actually don't want to record like laptop video of showing things with this particular mouse mat because I've already tried putting it into wash and it's absolutely encrusted with filth.
You gotta get a dead cow slabs.
Yeah, I gotta get something to replace this.
I mean, these are
one's cheapest on Amazon, probably.
These are hippie dead cow slabs. I went all over Amazon. I was like, yo, I'm willing to spend some just coin out of my own pocket. Like, I want to buy like a nice, like leather, you know. Desk didn't exist on Amazon. Everything was PU.
Yeah. Everything nowadays is just fake leather.
Maybe a slice of cow.
Leatherette. $3.12. Let's see. Make something to drink and we can get under the way.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. And anything else? I need emergency. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna make some more tea. So that's gonna take like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. You do that, and then I'll do more tea for me as well.
Oh, okay.
This might be the year I do it, to buy one of the I don't. What's the right word for it? They go into, you know, normally we have your pull-out thing on the sink.
Oh, thank you, P-Cam Racing.
No, the spray thing.
Mm-hmm.
Little spray thing on the side of this thing ripples out the hose.
Oh, like a shower head, but for the sink.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
But they make like a mini turbo hot water heater. So it can boil water.
Right.
Instantly.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
no, I've just been using kettle like some caveman.
Oh, no, look at you being all fat. I have an electric kettle, but do you know what else I have? A microwave.
Yeah, no, I could boil like 1.7 liters of water.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what's different, Vin, is I'm up higher. Now I've got a new pillow under me. So it changed my position a little bit.
All right. I'll be, yeah. Good. I'm gonna enjoy it the entire time. I'll be thinking about you, Arthur, while it's microwaving. It's brilliant.
Tea in the microwave is heresy.
And yes, Pig Ham Racing, thank you very much for the hosts.
Yeah.
The lack of jug kettles in the US of A is a cultural division. Electric kettles aren't really a thing in Portugal too. It's yeah, no, here, yeah, you go to Tesco's, there's like an entire aisle. It's just kettles.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen stores like that.
Yeah.
Even here in the US. Target has a kettle aisle. Not like England though. That would be, you probably guys, some of your stores probably have 2 or 3 kettles kettles.
Yeah, it's a thing here.
Yeah.
In Portugal, we'd used to do it the old-fashioned way and just boil some water in a pan or a pot or something. Or, yeah, put it in the microwave. But here, no, we're in England, we gotta have a kettle. Kettle.
Kettle.
A kettle. Let's see here. Filter coffee. I'm not a coffee snob. I have instant coffee. It's fine. I just buy the Nescafe one and away we go.
Oh yeah, Art Theron. So this one is the one I had last week. I like the unicorn one. It is pretty.
Really not that much of a coffee snob. I really don't. I like coffee, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't like coffee. So it's I go to Starbucks and whatnot, but I go for the food and the treats. and then they have other specialty drinks I like.
In a city with more cafes per capita. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you probably have a lot of choice, yeah.
I literally have 5 Starbucks within walking distance of my house, like within a block or two, because I'm by the big
That
mall.
seems unnecessary.
So the mall, there are 2 in the mall, and there's one across the street from the mall where there's a lot of restaurants, and there's another one 2 blocks from me that way. Yeah, the most penetration of any areas right here. Coffee snobs. And then,
phrasing, but no, that really does seem a little bit unnecessary.
I know. I don't know how they all survive, but they're always busy. But the one is the drive-through, and that's my favorite one. I like to walk to that one because it's more empty inside. So because everyone's going through the drive-through.
They're all empty inside. It's a soulless corporation after all.
Oh. But the manager of that one I like, and that one's actually in my direct neighborhood, local, so it's all locals.
Yeah.
The mall is, can be anyone.
Oh, I get that, Darkwing. I absolutely get that. Ever since I started drinking the Tea Pigs Earl Grey strong, it's like, no, it's either this or I don't touch Earl Grey. Because it's good. It's actually really good. Okay, there's a fin. My turn to go ahead and make tea. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, inertia. Oh, drive-through ATMs. Yeah, we have those all over the place here. Yeah, I just never had developed a taste for coffee. I guess burnt beans weren't my thing. I don't mind a little mocha. Like is at Starbucks, I will get the vanilla cream with mocha, but it doesn't have coffee in it, but it's like the mocha flavoring, and I don't mind that. I just don't like coffee. I don't know why.
As long as it's hot,
Yeah.
caffeine, I'm down. Hey, Inertia, I got your message. I had to get up to read it because if anybody, if you send me a DM on Discord during the show, if I read it, it just shows up on screen. There's a pro tip for everyone. So I can't read it until I get up to go read something. Yeah, well, it's because I have Discord captured. I'm not really set up, if you want to chat about that, I would like to have you on to chat about it. But we'd have to schedule something for next week. Because I don't have a just add a third person. We'd have to set up a legitimate channel script. I'd be down with that. Because I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of stuff wrong.
Mm-hmm. Adam XMMP. XMPPP messaging.
Yeah, man. We can do that next week. You got a camera and a microphone, right? Or at least a microphone? 4K enabled and stuff? Yeah. Well, that's what we'll do then, man. Yeah, I'd like to get you on, set some business straight. So we'll go, we'll give that a talk, because we are going to be covering it on the show, and no real strong opinions about it. But yeah, that'd be interesting to get your take on it. So if you can schedule some time next week, we can open the show up and pull you in for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. Okay.
Nice inertia.
Do me a favor.
He's a red hatter.
Do me a favor. Because I will forget that. Come on, we're talking about me. Send me a reminder email, just vin@linuxgamecast.com. Because I will straight up go, wasn't I supposed to do something? Oh, right.
I had an Amazon delivery in the middle of making tea.
Good on you. I had an Amazon delivery that was 2 houses, not one. 2 houses down.
Huh.
We don't live close to each other either. I mean, this wasn't like I went and got in the car because I got a message.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, I got one of your packages. Like, huh. All right. I'll be over there in a minute. This is on my way out anyway. But yeah, it was a replacement Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Which it said, hey, it's delivered. And I'm like, where did I get that delivered? Because sometimes I could think it's delivered to my rental. I'm like, open the door. It's like, was it here? No, guess not.
Oh boy.
So I thought I was just going to drive over and pick it up. And then I went and checked. I'm like, no, at the house? What? Then I read the thing. Hand it to a human. The plot thickens.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a package misdelivered, but a lot of mail lately. Our postal service is really...
I have the opposite issue, postal like. But this was just the Amazon delivery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's unusual.
I had one Amazon package that was delivered to the building across the way. It's like, the numbers are completely different.
Yeah, we haven't been getting our USPS. We haven't been getting our regular mail till like 7, 8 o'clock at night. The poor ladies having to do double shifts, and it's horrible. They're too thin right now.
I can imagine, because I know I think I would say for at least the past 5 years, the post truck, I know it's in the neighborhood, and even inside this room, which is acoustically padded, to say the least. I know the mail's here because it's that same vehicle.
The door sound?
No, it's had an exhaust leak.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it sounds,
you hear it.
It sounds like a little Honda Civic with a fart box on it, on the muffler, and I can hear, and I'm like, oh, the mail person's in the neighborhood. All right. Okay, are we good?
That's, yeah.
Nice and warm. And yeah, that'll work. That's good. Let's put together. Cool. I think we can do a show.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
Seems legit. Clear that. Let's do a shot check. Whoa, okay. We might need to scooch that chat down. A little bit.
Scoochie. Yeah.
Just a bit.
Nah, come on, let's put it right here. That's fine. That won't annoy anyone, will it? I just moved around while we're talking. Hang on, I gotta adjust. And 2, 3. Go away, credits. You've been repaired. Yeah. What's going on here?
We're more zoomied today, Pedro.
You are. Let me see.
You got an extra dose of Jill today.
Yeah.
So, let me check something. That's interesting. I gotta play with some things. Give me a second. I gotta think of a way to... I need to fix this correctly is what I need to do.
It's okay. We're only live streaming to like 20 people right now. So.
Yeah.
It's better than the 200 we had on a Saturday. Go look at the stream stats, Pedro. It's in the report. No. It was we had a total of 200.
Pop in, pop out.
They get us. I forget how. I mean, it's like 10 minutes or whatever to count as a. So what do I need to do? Okay, how do I want to go about doing this? I need to. Oh, okay. I know what I can do. Okay, we're gonna try something. So if things just die,
Okay.
I'm gonna delete that. Boop. Then we're going to move these to where they need to be. There we go. So that's lined up. So now I'm going to take all of these chat alerts. I'm going to copy them, and we're going to move to this. Then I'm going to duplicate them here. And then through the magic of randomly jiggling things around, get that lined up, and that should be lined up correctly. Look at that.
Yes.
That is definitely one potato we just scienced the S out of.
Very good, Ben.
Yeah, no, it still surprises me when you can remove elements from a scene while OBS is capturing or streaming and not crash.
It's pretty cool.
Well, you've seen the stacked nonsense I have set up, man.
Yes, you have a lot of elements in your scenes. My streaming scene has a lot of elements as well, but yeah, I only have the one scene that has a lot of elements.
All right. Like for realsies this time? Yeah. For realsies this time. Maybe. Okay. Making sure. I remembered last week, because that cost me time. I didn't have the free software song loaded up at the end of the show.
Yes.
So then I had to find it, and I put like the abridged version that I use for bumper music and intro videos in there. And then I'm like, that's not even, this is why you do multi-track recording, kids, because it's like in DaVinci. I was like, yoink, 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 and restitch that. It was a thing. Okay, let's do this. We are recording, locked and loaded. We're recording there. Recording long to Moton. That's right, closed captioning people. That's what I said.
I still find it impressive the speed at which they type.
Yeah.
It's accurate enough to be moderately frustrating.
Yay, Steve husband.
Reading these closed captions is about how I process French.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Steve.
When I'm listening to Francois Kahn, I'm like, I get the gist of the idea, but not the finer points. What were you saying, Joe?
Oh, I was just telling Steve, my brother and Evan are here, my nephew.
All right, 'tis the season.
Yeah.
Let's get to it, beautiful people, in 3, 2. And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, where we can sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vin Stone. That is Jill Bryant, and over there is Pedro Mateus. And everyone at home joining us live. I was going to de-zoom you, Jill, but you're just going to be big.
It's okay.
It's going to be, wait, how long is the cord on that microphone? You can go sit on the back of the room. Like,
Oh, boy.
What's going on, beautiful people? Tis the holidays. Hopefully you boy, if you're stuck at work, a lot of us, I'm like, well, what's the difference? And I'm like, yeah, fair point. Like, I'm still at home. Now I have nothing to do. This is horrible. Go watch The Mandalorian. But
Yeah.
let's see what's up with everyone, because I had to end a relationship, a very long-term relationship.
Ah.
Like, I had to break up with Thunderbird.
What?
Oh, poor Thunderbird.
I did. I had to end it, man. You know, we've been on the rocks a little bit, Pedro. Just a little bit. You know, we were working through it, man. We're going to counseling, you know, and everything's lined. What happened is Debian pushed out, you know, a little point really, like 10.7. And I finally was exposed to all of the glory that is, I think, Thunderbird 70. Oh, no. No. First things first is, you know, this is the new one where like the default theme is white on light blue, which I don't know how that got past QA, because I can't, I was willing to get over that. But okay, real quick, something you still have to do towards the end of 2020 is for high DPI displays, which you still do, even though I have a UHD 43-inch monitor. You have to go into settings and you have to go to the advanced thing, and you have to change the that 1 to 2, like in the advanced config, that one screen for scaling, which I did. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now all the folders are cut off. Like, it looks like a hot mess for navigation on the left side. It's like, how do I do that? Oh, it's such a known problem. Someone has written an extension for it, and it's in the store.
Oh.
Okay. Install that. Then it got to where I had to keep it around 1080 size on this monitor, because I don't need a full screen. And it was basically full screen like that. And between that and it just being sluggish to start up, even more so than the previous versions, had to let it go.
Aww.
Taking almost 3 seconds to start up too. And I'm like, nay. So I just switched everything over to Evolution, and Evolution opens, and I am like the same speed as everything else on this thread ripping system. As soon as you let go of the mouse, and boom, look, everything's there, and I'm done with it. Yeah, so I'd say it go. I went around and looked in the store, man. Nobody's making extensions or themes for the new version of Thunderbird. If there was like a better, I could have lived with it, but the visual stuff, like the dark mode, and I didn't like that, and I didn't like the pastel blue on white. Like, visually, I couldn't. The bandwidth, it messed up. Like, because I need to be able to pop that open, check 4 or 5 email accounts super quick just by snapshotting it, and like the way it rolled. Evolution, it works. It does everything I expected an email client. I got emails at it. I don't expect much, but yeah, that was my biggest change. That's how boring of an existence I currently have, Pedro Mateus. Did you do anything slightly more exciting than that?
Yes, he did.
I got a bit more time to play with the Pi Boy DMG. Yes, it's here. If you don't watch the Saturday show,
Pedro.
it actually arrived Friday. I think it was Friday. So yeah, it's here. It works really well. The screen is teeny tiny. It's only 640 by 480.
What did you
but
do they make one like something a little bigger, like, I don't know, 17, 18 inches? Ultra wide?
I don't think they do. At least I haven't seen one for sale. They do make one that is basically the same size, but it's all screen. So it's and just as thick.
I know. I really want. Get some tape. I got an idea.
But yeah, no, with a resolution this small, even PSP games like demanding ones run really, really well. I haven't tried Dolphin yet. Some people have been saying that they've been able to play some GameCube stuff, so I still need to try that. N64 works, but I haven't tried the GameCube, so
that I would genuinely be curious about that, because Dolphin is like crazy CPU dependent.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
What about you, Joe? Anything new?
Oh boy. Well, I'm still
Speaking of pies, right?
Yeah, speaking of pies, I've been really having a lot of fun with my Raspberry Pi 400. Yay!
Have you plugged it in yet, or you just been taking it around town showing its scenes and you're like, hey man,
look at what I have. Look at what I have.
Just partying with it, I've having a lot of fun with my Pi without drinking and
No. So I've tried different distros on it. The latest Ubuntu Mate for Raspberry Pi. And of course, Raspbian OS, and have had fun playing games on it. I did the today's show notes on it. And I've been really impressed by it. It's the fastest Pi I own. And of course, it's the fastest Pi they make. So that is really cool. And I'm just loving it. My only complaint is the mouse is a little short.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be complaining that the cord on the mouse is teeny tiny.
But I have an extension that I use.
Man, who made the leads on that? Nintendo?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. That's a good little bit of ketchup. No mustard and other condiments were harmed during the making of that intro. But we got to talk about a thing, Pedro. And before we get started, because check this out, we know we're going to get stuff wrong. Yeah. And we have such a beautiful track record of getting stuff wrong.
What are you talking about? At least 2 per episode.
Yeah, right. And those are just the ones we planned.
Yes.
Next week, we're going to have somebody from Red Hat come chat with us and be like, you got that wrong, and that wrong. So stay tuned for that. But until then, let's misrepresent things, Pedro.
Yeah, so this was literally everywhere Tuesday and then today.
What was?
Because CentOS put out a blog post to say the future of CentOS project is CentOS Stream. And a lot of people went,
oh my, they
what is
left
that?
comments open.
Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, CentOS Stream is basically a slightly different way of building. It's much more geared. It's much more streamlined. It doesn't have like the full desktop. It doesn't have everything. It's basically just a base for running your containers, for running your instances, for running whatever it happens to be. And the biggest thing that people seem to be having an issue with is that they're effectively killing off Cent 8. Instead of being supported up until 2029, it's only being supported until the end of 2021. Mm-hmm. And with that goes everyone that did the migration from CentOS 7 recently to CentOS 8. And it is going to be something like package updateness wise. It's going to be somewhere in between what Cent used to be, or RHL, and Fedora. It's going to sort of track the testing unstable part of Red Hat, which people aren't terribly big fans of because CentOS tends to be used in a more productive environment. Now, as a user, I absolutely get the having more up-to-date packages and fitting in somewhere between old and stable like RHL and new and possibly breaking stuff like Fedora. Having something in between, it's very nice. As a user, I can see that. For businesses, that's going to be a hard sell.
Yeah, so I was reading in the comments around the internet that this would lead to businesses migrating to Ubuntu and maybe OpenSUSE instead. And I definitely understand that. They basically are changing the whole OS to, rolling release. So
what you gotta do is you gotta take a trip back, kids. You gotta remember, I grew up with Red Hat. I was running Red Hat until Red Hat was done with me. And they're like, it's not Red Hat anymore. I'm like, what mean by that, Red Hat? Like, it's Fedora now. The internet. Yes, there was internet back then. We all lost our collective minds. Like, oh no, this is doom. What are you talking about? You install Fedora Core 1. That used to be the name. And everything was right in the world, man. But there was a lot of internet. Initial blowback, things changed. It's like, okay, look, hey, now we have Fedora. Fedora is like boringly stable these days.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It just installs now? Okay. Unless you tried to install it like right when the 2060 came out, it wasn't having any of that. I had to it was a long story. But I do think this is going to put some companies that didn't plan ahead into a little bit of a tight spot. Because like 6 years ago, I think it was Red Hat and Cent, and they got together and maybe some things could possibly change down the road. Maybe we need a plan B. But Greg, one of the CentOS project founders, it looks like he was planning to do a fork or is planning to do a fork. So there is that. But yeah, they want to Cent to sit somewhere between RHEL and Fedora, kind of like a rolling release. So when I hear rolling release, I would not have a rolling release in the studio. No. I use Debian Stale for that reason. Okay, you come out every 2 years and you're supported for 5 years. No moving targets. I like that. I even tried when I was fighting with Blackmagic. I set Cent up on this box partially just because I wanted to see if I could still tango with the beast. I'm like, man, people need to be quiet. This is easy. But I could see if you hadn't set up any planning, a lot of times you end up using an enterprise stuff. You'll end up using Cent or RHEL because that's where the drivers be. I run into that with Mellanox equipment, run into that with Blackmagic stuff. That's just where your official support is. Because if you call up support and they're like, oh, you're not running Cent? Hi, Blackmagic. Talking directly to you right now. Yeah. Oh, no. We understand you paid money. Bye. I don't know, man. I mean, you might see some people moving over to the Ubuntu's or the Debians, or I don't know. We'll know more next week because we'll be able to talk and get some better.
I love the hate site. They made a hate site.
Oh, the hate site? Hang on. Where is the...
CentOS.rip.
Yeah, CentOS.rip. It's actually genuinely well done, and you can tell that the person who made it was deeply invested in the CentOS thing.
Purchase RHEL twice.
Yeah.
That's
the RHEL project.
You know what? This is well done enough to where okay, that's kind of funny. I mean, you got to be able to take something like that and be like, all right, not bad.
Yeah, and if I do suggest that if you are listening to the show or you're watching us on YouTube, go and check out the show notes and read the comments on that article. Please.
Good times. So something we've been talking about is every time System 76 has a new release, new hardware, a new finely wood grain piece of mechanical wonder stuff with hard drill. Anyway, where's the AMD option on the laptops? I know Pedro, both of us have been like, where's that?
Yeah.
Well, that's right, man. Write it in red. AMD's running Bulldozer CPU. Wait, no. But for some reason, they decided to put a GIF of a bull, which made me think, what? That's probably not something you really want some people to think about. As somebody who owned Bulldozer CPU and ran these shows for a long time, that's not something. It currently heats an apartment in Canada right now. Not making that up. That's exactly what that CPU is doing. But Pangolin, it's changing. They got a new system, tech specs, and these are going to be rolling out. So what are we talking about this? Again, Bulldozer thing, get over that. We're going to be able to get a AMD 4700 or 4500U up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. And it's going to weigh in at 1.6 3.65 kilos, or that's 3.64 freedom units, starting at $849. And I'm guessing, I'm going to be too far off, probably about $1,000 for one you'd actually want to use.
Probably. Otherwise, that 849 is just going to be for the 8 gigabyte with the Ryzen 5 4500U with the smallest possible SSD.
Oh, man. Jill, do you want one?
Yeah.
You're going to buy one? Come on there.
I think it's going to be a beautiful laptop, and I would like one if it had an Ultra HD screen, or at least a 1440p option, because that's a higher quality stream for doing art and playing games. So
15.6 inch 1080p.
It is one of the middle-sized laptops, I suppose I should say, because there are 17-inch and 21-inch laptops now. So, yeah. But I guess starting at $850 is System 76's equivalent of a reasonably priced option. I would like to see, something a bit lower, because not everyone can afford that right now.
Get a Chromebook.
They don't make them in Ryzen yet.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we all saw the rumors on the internet, like, AMD's working on their own Mac style. I don't think anyone owns
ARM thingy.
Yeah, it's like, let's revive the K12. That'll be interesting.
They do make a module, the V2000.
Mm-hmm.
That one's it's looking pretty nice. It could be interesting.
But hey, man, it's AMD 76. I'm happy to see that. I think 849 is reasonable. System 76 is not the business of making like the bottom bargain basement stuff that barely. No. Yeah, you get one of these, you get the good support that goes with it. If you have any problems with it, it should be taken care of. I think that's reasonable. I mean, it could be System 76, still cheaper than a Mac.
Oh, yes.
Yes. On all sides, yeah.
Easily. So that's some good news from a Linux vendor, but we do have some bad news from, this comes from Ubuntu. All this is going to be in our show notes. Go check it out. The reason Linux PC seller is being forced to close, which is sad because, man, you got to check this out. These they've been around since like 2008. I'm sad to see them go, man. These things do happen. But they basically rolled on like, hey, pandemic was the last little blow. We were kind of teetering along, and this just took us out. Look at the little Za reason.
Oh, beautiful cases.
You can think about this. The big downside with this is something that they had to say, which good on them for saying it, like flat out, like all of your warranties are null and void, unfortunately. Yeah. So that is like the big downside. On the upside, collector item.
Very true.
If you have a reason,
I have an older dual core laptop of theirs that's still running beautifully. And this is a family owned business, which is, and they were one of the very first vendors to sell computers with Linux pre-installed. So this was very depressing to me, because not only do I know the family, and for many years they had a booth at the Southern California Linux Expo, and they actually helped start Scale. And their children were friends and members of the Linux Chick-fil-A, and the parents were friends of ours, and they used to donate hardware and text plushies, like that big one right there is from Za Reason. They gave those to us as gifts and for our fundraising raffles at our booth. So I owe so much to them, and all the Linux chicks, we all have their computers. So I was just very down about this, and I almost cried actually, because these are friends.
And they used to be the budget option for US peeps, because otherwise you have System 76 and Entroware and Tuxedo. I think Entroware ships to the US. I don't know if Tuxedo does, maybe. But yeah, right now, there really isn't a lower price option for Linux pre-installed PCs in the US. That's sad.
Yeah. Well, good news, everyone. You probably don't want to go out and buy a new AMD card if you're running DaVinci. I've been waiting for this to show up. Quick mention, because here's the thing, Pedro. I had, because of you, I had to legitimately look at the new AMD GPUs. It's all Pedro's fault.
Okay.
100%.
Because I'm going to buy the 3060 Ti
He's going to buy the 3060 Ti. Exactly. Which I was like, there we go. That's the perfect card for this system because it's all I need. And Pedro's like, I'm buying that one. So now I have to entertain the idea of getting a 3070. Okay.
Yeah. I was planning on a 3070 as well.
Once I'm in that price bracket, might as well explore the AMD options. And hey, 16 gigs of memory on the new AMD cards. I'm like, okay, let's go see what they can do. And Puget Systems, they typically do this. And this is reasonably safe bet from their past benchmarks, because it doesn't matter what you on PC, Mac, Linux, scores roughly the same because they're all compute heavy. And we got to go down. So this is pretty much how it rolls all the way down. Up at real simply, this is extended overall score, 3090, crushing everything, including the Titan. Man, 2080 Ti is still doing good. 6800 XT, way down, about halfway. Then, which 6800 XT is faster than a 2070 Super, but the RX 6800 16 gig is slower than a 2060 Super.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. And this trend just continues, man. 57 at the bottom. Vega 64 is faster than, which I guess kind of maybe should be considering the price. And it's just dominated. Dominated by CUDA.
The new architecture.
Here's the thing. I know you made me sad because that, it's like I can't even consider that, man. No, I mean, it'd be neat. I would rather use OpenCL if it was a option. And yes, a working option has to be comparable to the alternative. You don't cut your nose off to spite your face. I know some people are very, very keen on doing that just so they can take some moral high ground, but
sticking to one's principles has there's something to be said about that, but the Vega 64 on a couple of the tests is faster than the 6800 XT. No, that's bad. Whatever you did, go back, fix it, because that's bad.
I would like to think, in a very reasonable way, AMD, when they released these new cards, and they just released new one, the 6900.
The 6900,
the 6900
and it has really,
supposed to be
really
the big one.
These are focused for gaming performance, not
exactly
workstation performance. Maybe we'll have a whole new round of overpriced WX series. So
probably, yeah.
That'd be interesting to see. Pedro, you do love your dot files, your dot folders. You're the dot man. You're full of dots. It's like connect the dots. That's what I think about.
I actually don't mind dot files and dot folders because I usually keep those hidden. The thing that I mind are stupid all lowercase folders like Snap. That's what annoys me. That's what annoys me a lot. But I get that a lot of people do keep those dot files visible and they like to have everything neat in much the same way that I do, but they don't want just random games or random applications just creating an entirely new dot folder in their home directory. Well, Antidot is here very much to try and fix that. It tries to move everything to the appropriate locations, and then we'll create symlinks, we'll create environment variables to try and work around the fact that it just completely migrated a directory out of where the application or game happens to be looking for it, which is good.
My old nemesis, Docker.
Yeah. So they actually have the example there of Docker, so that you can actually, if you don't like having all of those dot folders visible, well, you can do Control H.
All right.
Yeah. So, I was actually really happy that the antidote clean command will actually prompt you if you want to apply the rule, like a good Linux app does. But I was happy it did that because it actually made me a little nervous running it. So I actually ran it on one of my other machines, and it did a really good job. It moved the dot file. They don't actually, for me, they don't really bother me. But it is nice that they move it to a more organized way.
Well, I like the idea, man. I mean, more appropriate locations, based on the XDG directory specs. But just close your eyes. You don't see.
You can keep your eyes open. Just do Control H. It'll hide the dot files.
I like to be able to. I like to know who's there, but I also like them to be in logical locations too, because we've all been on that journey, that search of like, really, where's this thing at? Where did you say? Where's your config file?
Yeah, it's usually .config, the root of the home folder,
or local, share,
.local.
Yeah, I'm like, really? Okay, fine. You're there.
Summon Etsy.
What do we have? Oh, and Fission ZHS support in the works. Also, missed opportunity. I'm sure the program would run possibly 7 to 10% faster if you just renamed it to anti-doot.
Anti-doot or boop. Anti-doot.
That might definitely, don't ask, it's magic how that'll work, but they'll probably speed it up a little bit. Joe, you were excited about Gmusic browsers.
Gmusic browser is back from the dead after 5 years. It's actually one of my favorite music player programs, and I'm so happy to see it back. And it even has 2 ports, an updated GTK2 client, and they also have a beta GTK3 client. And what's unique about this player is it has so much detail for the artist info, lyrics, and album covers. And it's just
that
nicely
does look
presented.
Like something from 8 years ago.
It does.
It is kind of classic looking. Yes, it is. But it's very customizable. Has a really customizable interface that you can completely customize, or it has some predefined layouts like iTunes mode. And I was happy to hear that this was back, because that was my go-to for a long time to play all my MP3 and OGG files. And now it supports .opus file format, so that is cool.
Nice. Yeah, that looks like someone tried to recreate Amarok in GTK, and that was the final result.
So it's like being able to run Amarok without like 2 gigs of depths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll have to download the GTK framework anyway, so.
Well, if you didn't have QT, I mean, TK?
Yeah. If you're already running KDE or LXQT or something like that, you already have those depths.
However, this is why I love app images. And also, this is a very, okay, there you go. There's your snap argument. There's your Flatpak argument. KDN Live. I use KDN Live, but I don't want the kitchen sink attached to it. Okay, all right, boop, done. Yeah, I like that. But I don't have a lot of local music. And by a lot, I mean the Zathnas and Frankennas, both powered down. And that was the only boxes in this house that had any type of like MP3s. And I know some people still like to carry them around with them, because I will have those conversations. I'm like, why did you get 128 gig mobile? It's like, for the music. If your cellular connection goes down, you're going to have, I think you're going to have problems that your music collection's not going to be able to solve, man.
But I get, keeping a local copy of your music library, because I like to buy game soundtracks, and then I download them and I put them on the NAS so that I can listen to them while I'm around the house.
Yeah. And I was a DJ for 16 years, so I have literally probably several terabytes of data just in music files, because I would back up all my rare discs, whether they be CD or vinyl, onto hard drive.
Yeah, I'm living in 2020. All that's in the cloud. This is kind of interesting. Shut Sentry?
Yeah, interesting name. It kind of reminds me of a portal turret, right? Shut Sentry. It's
shutting down.
Yes, exactly, Pedro. So shut sentry is a virtual dead man switch that it protects your computer from unauthorized physical access, like if you were to put in a USB drive. And it runs and shows you an on-screen prompt at regular time intervals. And if the correct password is not entered, the system is locked.
There's something about the phrase
shut down.
failure options I enjoy. Like, here are your options for failure.
and
We both know you'll
Windows.
never amount to anything, so here's some options.
That's the GUI. Yes, that's the GUI Windows version. The Linux version is an easy to run shell script and is an easy to use CLI program. There it is.
You know what? You get a bonus soda for having that's more than so many GitLab and GitHub like GUI projects.
Yeah.
Hey man, you took a picture of the terminal. Good on you. I have some idea.
Yeah, it's really nicely laid out.
Of what I'm walking into. Pedro, you seem to have an issue with it though.
I do, because I was reading through it and like the screenshot that they have of the Windows version, and it's like, okay, so you can run this every fixed amount of time, or you can do it when someone attaches a USB device, or you can do it when one of your Bluetooth devices gets disconnected. Basically, if you've ever, attached a Bluetooth game controller, or you've been playing a game and something just goes out of the system, even your wireless mouse. Yeah, don't put this in your gaming machine, because you will be challenged and you will have to fumble to put things down and grab things and then shut down.
You nailed it. Don't install this on your gaming machine. Nay.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's a stupid idea. Install it on a soon-to-be former friend's gaming machine.
There you
Yeah,
go,
that's
Ben.
like it.
Good idea.
Sit back, relax, and just watch that take place.
Yeah, no, I can imagine anyone who's not expecting this, and every, say, 30 minutes, they get a little prompt to type in the password, or we're going to shut you down. Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
That probably has use for someone. I just wanted to give it a mention. I run across these smaller projects. I'm like, hey, man, that's neat. Like this one, Artline.
Yes. Artline, it looks fairly interesting because it is just a PyTorch project that you can...
Deep learning.
Yep. It is deep learning, and you point it at a picture, and it does the usual. It tries to grab all the detail and makes it as though it were hand-drawn, which is... Yeah, there's Rami Malek playing...
Mr. Robot.
Freddie Mercury.
I saw that episode.
Yeah. And it is exactly just pointed at a picture, and it does like someone had drawn the picture rather than it being just a photograph, and it looks very good. It actually does a very good job. And so it's like, okay, do I have to actually set up a development environment to get this going? But no, they have a Google Colab. There'll be a link in the show notes. So I went there and I just pointed it at one of my pictures that I have on Imgur, and okay, go ahead. It failed. So that was disappointing.
It failed for me. Yeah, it failed for me too. I was on our
using
Linux chick
FastAI
site.
and PyTorch. PyTorch. Have you got to play with PyTorch? It's so much better. Blink noises. There's some issues with backgrounds and lighting and stuff like that. Some of the models confuse with hair and shadow, but it's being worked on. I thought this. You need a high resolution images naturally, but go play with it. I wanted to do some A/B comparisons because it's interesting to see something like this actually look at the image and try to make a good one, because you're like, but sketch filters, sometimes you can get...
They're bad, most of them.
I don't know. Maybe I can come up with some horror soup by making some sketch art with us. Maybe?
You mean the logos?
No. I want to make your face into wallpaper.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
But I also would like to upload it to this computer.
No, No, my ego is absolutely okay with people having me as their wallpaper.
I didn't say what I was going to wallpaper, but okay. Last one of the year, this is going to be the last one that we cover, is open source predictions for 2021. And Jill, is there anything in here that's predictable?
Yeah, actually, I think Jack Wallen, who wrote the post, I think he's right as usual. He does these almost every year. And he was saying that we will see the continued adoption of open source in the business sector, yay, as well as an increase of Linux on the desktop. And maybe on the desktop only about 10%, but that's still huge coming from 2.2% where it has been. And so the open source being adopted in business, he sees a lot of that is being sparked also by the pandemic. And yes. I see that. Yeah, very, very, very true. Because businesses are looking for cheap and especially free options, all open source. And he talked about also Kubernetes being simplified, like it'll be easier point and click on a web page to implement Kubernetes with and Docker images. And the one I thought was really interesting, and I think he's actually right on, is SUSE. He predicts them being at the head of big data in the coming year, because deployment and simplicity with their SUSE Manager tool makes the AI environments really, really easy to manage.
Yeah, I'll walk in and go, no one's touching Susie right now, simply because who's going to buy him next?
Yes.
Well, it is. Yeah, there is that, but they are growing huge. And
businesses operate on certainty. Susie is not a certain company, unfortunately. Looking at that, man, I got to say, this is definitely our year, the Linux desktop article for 2020. To the point, though, business options over this year, we've had some good news, from Lenovo, HP, and Dell just rolling out their Linux options and solutions, and that's kind of brilliant. We're happy to see that. And it doesn't mean you can get one. But it just means it's an option to ask your employer, ask Jordan, hey, can I get a Linux? No. Okay.
You can have a Mac.
Yeah.
Right. You end up getting a Mac, man. But so if we're going to do the end of the year, hey man, you're the Linux desktop. Can we also do the desktop is dead thing too? I want to do that.
Yeah.
RIP
his
desktop.
final point.
Yeah.
His final point is literally like Linux on the home desktop will start to gain serious traction. Really? You had to end the article with, 2021 is the year of the Linux desktop. Really?
Well,
really?
It's because of, AI and cloud services. And a lot of the companies like Lenovo and System 76 and Dell are coming out with laptops with Linux on them, Linux desktop. So that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Well, Canonical said it has grown huge in the
If I was
desktop.
in the business of selling stuff, I would say it's grown too.
It's like, we're doing so well. Please buy more from us.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, everybody's in it, but the desktop usage, something I absolutely track is so many people live in absolute bubbles. You need to get outside of your friend's sphere and go over to your friend's house that's not into IT, it's not a nerd, and like that. They don't have a desktop computer in their house. Like, what? Oh, I got an HP from 10 years ago. What are you talking about? What are you kidding, man? I got my mobile right here. That's what I use. Now, I'm going to say, if you're going to be seeing Linux adoption in businesses and any widespread, COVID kind of threw a monkey wrench in that, because I'm seeing a lot of people coming back into offices, despite what corporate real estate would like to happen. I don't think that's ever going to be a thing again, because we've kind of demonstrated on a shoestring budget with 20 seconds to pull it off. I'm like, we could do this. That got accelerated. But you might see Linux in the form of thin clients. Because I can definitely see a future where you're streaming your Microsoft operating system from your Linux thin client, because Microsoft's like, hey, here's your desktop. We can stream that, because if we can stream video games, you know what's a lot easier than streaming video games? Your desktop.
Streaming a static image that's just a desktop wallpaper with some icons on it, yeah. And you can run that off of a Raspberry Pi. So...
I don't know, man. There's streaming. I do honestly believe there's going, like, that just makes too much logical sense as streaming desktops in the future, because you're already seeing that in industries like animation, 3D modeling, stuff like that. People stuck at home. That's how they're accessing the programs. People I've talked to working. And I'm like, yeah, all right. They've got their own setup. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. I can see that rolling out to the desktop. But Microsoft, man. Microsoft wants to say subscription. Like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. You want to buy a little Microsoft? I'm
waiting for Windows 10s to see what kind of a special Microsoftness they pull with that one.
Just $9.99 a month, and you can have all the Windows you can eat. Delicious Windows, Pedro. Think about it.
Yeah.
It'd be like a Netflix subscription. Yeah, as long as you pay it.
I can imagine the kind of hell that would introduce to create entirely new support teams or train the current support teams that support regular desktop Windows to support Windows 10s.
All right. Well, it's good times for Linux, no matter what. No matter what anybody says.
Yes.
So that's good.
Exactly.
That's kind of brilliant. We're going to get into a slice of pie, but a little bit of shameless self-promotion if you want to help out the show and get some cool swag. I just use the word swag unironically. Deal with it.
Yes.
Stored at linuxthemecast.com. We got some shirts just in time. I think if you order them right now, you'll get them in time for the holidays.
Yeah, just barely.
Long sleeve, cups, stickers. We got a mask.
Mask.
Die cuts, all the fun stuff. And we get a little cut of that, and helps out the show. All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
We also have a Patreon.
LWW shirt.
All of our beautiful patrons. They make this show possible. Patreon.com/Linux Themecast. See, that's a lot better than this show is brought to you by Bubba Keg. It's the most Bubby-y, keggy. It's a 52, which leads me to believe that there's a superior model available.
Aw, I'm happy to see that Xalty is getting his LWW shirt December 22nd.
Oh,
Yay.
very nice, very nice.
Yay.
That's awesome, man. Confuse friends and family this holiday season.
Yeah.
Linux Themecast apparel. Okay, let's get into it. Happy Pi Day. That's right. Boop. There it is. See you next.
That seems like a waste of a very good mold for not a whole lot of pie. But, to that point, you have the Nano Pi. It's not a Raspberry Pi. It is very much using the Rock chip RK3399, which is the same one that Pine uses for everything. And it is not, as they say in the article, it's not the most efficient when it comes to like power usage and heat, because it does get a little bit toasty.
A little bit.
And they have, they have a little graph there. And to the Nano Pi R4S's credit, the optional little aluminium case that it comes with does a very good job of sinking that heat away from the components that do get the hottest. And you have multiple configurations, obviously. You start at 1 gig of RAM and you can go all the way up to 4. Where have I seen that before? Oh, that's right. I have a Pinebook Pro. It's right over there.
You wouldn't know it.
There you go.
I went to look to see if I could reach it, but no, I can't.
No. It's for the best, Pedro.
At least I can see where it is this time instead of having to rummage through the drawers for like 2 minutes. The big selling point here is the fact that it may not have Wi-Fi, but it does have 2 gigabit Ethernet ports and 2 USB 3.0 ports, which is very nice because you can actually install OpenWRT on it, and look, now it's an access point, or it's a teeny tiny little router.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess. What's it going to cost me, Pedro? How many thousands of dollars?
The base version starts at $45.
Okay.
If you want the 4
Wait.
gigabyte version, it's $55.
Does it come with a spoiler?
No.
Useless.
If you want the spoiler case, it's an extra $14, which means if you bought the 4GB version with the metal case, it would be $69. There, I'm done with that joke.
Okay. Yes. All I heard was no spoiler. That's a thing. If you want to go play with it, Rock Chip, but we got some interesting. I almost said good news, and my brain just like came out and dropped an elbow on me. I'm like, new version of Raspberry Pi OS released. There is some good stuff in here. There most definitely is. First and foremost, welcome to the brave new world of Pulse Audio, kids. Yeah, have fun with that. They believe Pulse Audio has reached a point just when we're getting ready to get rid of Pulse Audio and replace it with Pipewire.
Yes.
It's stable now.
They're like, hey,
Yes.
man, and this is their exact wording. It's reached a point where it solves more problems than it creates. That is the most glowing thing they could come up with. By
That was
this
funny.
is how they're defending their point of like, this is why we're not using just straight up ALSA anymore, because this okay, yeah, you get that, you get it. Kind of interesting to see, but they've also added a Chromium with hardware acceleration, so WebRTC,
Yay, finally.
yeah, Jitsi, all that fun stuff.
Yay.
That I'm really happy to see, and no more flash support. Oh no, it's both of you. There's a little talking about Pulse Audio, and then they go through a lot of defense. Like, this is why we did it. I get it. Should theoretically
This
they've
is
done
why
some
we do
plumbing
it.
for Bluetooth and all the other fun stuff. Should work a little better, and they've got like a little device profile thing they've added, and they've thought it through. This wasn't just lazily done by any means whatsoever. Printing though. Check this out. Cups and system config printer are now installed as part of the Raspberry Pi OS for both of you with printers plugged in to your Raspberry Pi. Oh, brother. Brother printers.
Oh.
You'll never
I
escape
guess you
them.
could use a Pi as a print server, so yeah, it would make sense to be able to talk to them over the network.
You know what, Pedro? I'm going to say I'm against it because I'm not having a print server that I could lose.
I mean,
Physically.
you could lose it from your desk to, screwing it on whatever wall it happens to be.
I'm thinking in a business environment. I'm thinking like Vin would think when he's in that business environment. Like, I bet I could hide that.
In the lip of the cab. Like,
oh, man. What do you think, Jill?
Yeah. So one of the cool things is that for my Raspberry Pi 400, they're actually going to have an option now for the power LED to also do hard drive on and off. So that'll be cool too. But what I was really impressed with this release is there are really wonderful new updates for us that are visually challenged. And so now to use Orca, you just hold down Control, Alt, and Spacebar to automatically install Orca, and then a dialog prompt will appear, and Orca will actually tell you that it's installed and when it has it finished. So they're making great strides.
that's very good.
Yeah,
To
it's
just
wonderful.
have that out of the box and
Out of the box.
someone
Yeah.
someone who's visually impaired just pulls it out of the box, goes Control Alt Space, and it starts reading it out loud. We're installing text to speech support. We're installing the screen reader. It's like,
That's also something I would
Very
like
good.
to see
Wonderful.
printed on a piece of paper on top of it.
Oh.
sort of defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
But
Well, in big fonts, Pedro, so you didn't have to use something else to find out about the feature.
yes.
Yes. Maybe you want to tell us about your features. Maybe you have a new hot Pinus, and you want to do some cool stuff with it, or you've done some cool stuff with it, or just thoughts, hints, allegations. You got some questions to ask, some things to tell us. How can they do that one, Pedro Mateus?
There are many ways you can do that. The safest way is probably to send a text message.
You can be like that dude on YouTube.
Let's not start giving out phone numbers at this point. But yes, if you would like to write us a text message, you can do so by going to linuxgamecast.com and hitting the contact button. LWDW is the show that you need to pick if you'd like to send some feedback. Otherwise, we may be inclined to misinterpret that as some hate mail, and then you may have some naughty words leveraged at you on that Saturday show, What We Do. No such thing will happen here, although you may get a little bit of sarcasm.
Yeah,
but...
Yes, it will, Pedro, because you've already cost me one edit.
What did I say?
Oh, you dropped the H-bomb.
Heck, really?
Yeah, it's like the first thing they say when you're like, does this contain naughty words like that one?
Yeah, but that's like the lowest on the scale of YouTube.
Yep, still causes me extra steps. But that's why we love you. So yeah, man, we were talking about the humble download kerfuffle.
Yay.
And Baron Tenuta like, hey, do you not remember? I'm sure I've told you about this before, but what are you doing? Acting like a Windows user and downloading zips via a browser from humble !? HB downloader will download all of your bundles. Save Steam keys, obviously, with checksum and hashing and make sure nothing is corrupt. There's some links to it. That'll be in the show notes. Between that and
LGOG downloader.
Okay, LGOG downloader. Link to that. It's made my life so much easier. I can just run a cron job, and downloads. I have to forget what I've bought. We've all done it. Don't be shy. I don't know, man. I'm a pretty shy person.
I'll raise my hand, and I will admit I completely forgot that HB downloader was even an option. We talked about it, and I just...
Yeah, I haven't used it in a long time either, Pedro, so I kind of forgot about it myself. And I didn't know about the GOG one, so thank you, Vera Tenuta.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I don't download enough multi-part stuff. That's what it boiled down to. That was the first time I'd ran into a situation where I was like, you need to download 28 of something. Like, yeah. But
yeah, now I have Firefox set up that if I hit that download all button and I switch to the torrents, it downloads them all automatically, and then Qubit torrent picks up on all of them automatically, and done.
Nice.
And it was that because Mir made a mention yesterday in Discord that he was getting some. Because if you don't know, if you're on Linux, you may very well encounter the fact that 97% of the files are RAR files with a zip extension, which can cause issues, obviously. And Humble's like, LOL, that's how they're going to stay.
Actually, according to Mir, he posted on Discord earlier today or yesterday.
I think it was yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, that Humble got back to him. It's like, no, sorry, we're not changing it. They're staying as they are.
Okay. Thanks, Humble. Bang up job on that one.
Why are we giving you money?
Because technically, if you jump through enough hoops, Pedro Mateus, you can describe them. Didn't you see the simple wall of text that was handily provided for us on Saturday's show? And I'm like, yeah, it's easy as follow all that, deal with it. All right, beautiful people, we gotta get out of here. It's been fun, but we'll see you next week. But until then, we're gonna roll some credits and let's get some music going on.
Aw, thank you to Pink Ham Racing for hosting us on Twitch. That was sweet.
Pink Ham Racing, that sounds delightfully naughty, possibly delicious.
It is delicious. And ham,
for the
you want it pink.
Is ham pink?
Yes.
Okay. What about cooked ham?
Haplo Justin.
It depends on how far you cook it.
Scott and Foxdog are there in the Atomic Ass and Mike G.
Do you like medium rare ham?
Darkwing and Empty.
I like raw ham. Seriously, just give me a ham cut and I will eat it. I may have parasites afterwards, but I will eat it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never tried that, Pedro. That scares me a little bit.
No. I just like checked off a bunch of boxes. Like, may have bears? No, okay. Oh, that clears that up. You have the brain worms, Pedro Mateus.
Probably, maybe.
Oh.
Bye, people.
Bye, everyone. Just give him the live pig.
If Discord actually loaded the image preview.
Huh? I'm not clicking on that. That's not happening.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save the picture.
Oh, we went over the G Music browser, Arthur. I did it quickly because we had so many stories.
There.
Yeah.
Ham.
Oh, I'm sorry, Arthur. I meant to mention you. From this day on, Arthur needs to be mentioned in every LWW.
He does a very good job of basically filling out the show suggestions. It's like, oh, yes. This is nice. Ooh, this is neat.
I did give him a shout out at the end, though, in the credits.
Pedro, is that salted and cured ham, though?
Oh, salted and cured. Okay, that's a bit darker.
Mm-hmm.
Still pink.
I don't know. You said raw ham. I was like, come here, pig. Here you go, Pedro. Eat.
I'm not a big fan of cognac, but
I don't know, man. I thought it was good up until his third album.
Arthur, that's a good picture. Oh my goodness.
That's expensive cognac too. Wow.
Yes, Adam.
I guess it's the
Arthur
fancy bottle.
Is our mastermind. He provides us so many stories.
Have you got some
it's
eggnog?
Just sweet wine.
Pedro, you're on the island. They like the eggnog.
Yes. Yeah. I tried the Tesco's eggnog last year.
Didn't like
it's
it?
not very good. Yeah.
It's boozy.
I guess I need to try and find like someone that makes really nice eggnog.
Nah, dude, they're gonna spike it with gin.
Oh my gosh. I actually like eggnog, but only certain ones because it can be way too strong from one company and not nice and mild from others. So yeah, it's when someone says they don't like eggnog, maybe they just haven't tried. There's many different
Maybe they
varieties.
don't like drinking eggs. I don't know.
There's something to be said about that. Eggs, sugar, and random alcoholic beverage. Yeah.
Oh, I do like it
yeah,
once
I've
a
had
year.
Good eggnog, but yeah, it was homemade.
Yeah.
It was my
yes, that makes a difference.
aunt's boyfriend at the time that made it. That was actually really good.
Inertia, I got
salty,
your emails,
the light eggnog.
so I'm good.
That's good.
All right, we're in contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had the Whole Foods. The Whole Foods eggnog is pretty good. That eggnog is very good.
Don't use moonshine in your eggnog. Just no.
Also, while setting up Evolution, I'm always thought, man, is like I wish other people cared about me as much as Google cares when I sign in from the new computer.
Yeah, there is that.
Every
device in your house lights up.
No kidding. Okay. It was echoing throughout that. Ding, 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 ding. Then I crossed my fingers because I have this old Nexus 10, and I was like, please be on this one so I don't have to get up to hit the yes button. And it finally, it was like, ugh. It flipped over. And I'm like, yes.
Oh, Jameson. Jameson is actually very good. As far as, cheap old whiskey goes, that's very good.
All right. So.
It's still 115 pounds for the 6 bottles.
No.
Boy.
I'll go to Tesco's and buy the 1 bottle for like 20 pounds. Yeah.
Okay. breaking news is Cyberpunk 2077 is now playable with Proton 513-4.
Nice.
Okay.
But you're going to need an AMD GPU and the latest Mesa from the Gits.
Mesa drivers. Yeah, I did read about that.
So doesn't Proton do the fakery of the NVIDIA cards anymore?
I am just reading the announcement that just came out.
Yeah, I read that.
No,
this morning.
I saw the announcement that Cyberpunk 2077 was out on Steam, so I clicked on it and then clicked the ignore button right below it, and then went back to the Steam front page, and the big banner at the top was gone. Good job, Valve.
Well, here's our hot announcement from 25 minutes ago. So, yeah.
Early testing time. Yeah.
AMD GPU and Mesa Kit.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a lot of people are going to be installing the OIBAF PPA or the Padaka Git PPA instead of the Padaka stable one. That's going to break a lot of stuff.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Allowed them some early testing. All right.
Nice.
Oh yeah, clearly CD Projekt Red don't want to port their games to Linux. They're more than happy to let everyone else do it, which is why we got that joke.
No,
that
Pedro,
was The Witcher 2.
Pedro. Cyberpunk's going to be available on Stadia. So that's kind of even darker. It was like, because you know they've constructed a Vulkan render for this game. They've had to. They're like, oh,
it's running on
no,
Linux.
we're not going to share that with you. No.
Yeah, no, people releasing Stadia versions and just refusing to release desktop Linux versions.
Well,
thanks.
okay, let's be fair. There's a chunk of work.
There is. I'm guessing a single-use client would be very different from a cloud.
It genuinely
streaming
irritates
one.
me when I see people like, but they got a Stadia. Can't they just smash the Linux desktop? No, they can't. So,
But that's the thing. They already have the bulk. They have the engine running on Linux. They have the any kind of graphics API.
they have it running on Stadia.
Yes.
For all we know, the back end for Stadia is Fuchsia, man.
They don't have a kernel for that yet.
They do. They've open sourced Fuchsia, the blog. They made a blog post about that last night. You can user contribute. Yeah, it's hybrid microkernel type BS.
All right. Okay.
No, I was reading over it.
'Cause,
It's like they didn't do a good job explaining like what Fuchsia is, because they're very vague about like it's just a
that's
new operating
because they
system.
don't know.
It can
It's
run.
like we got to do something.
Possibly, man. Yeah, I don't tingle with GOG just because they don't have a client.
Yeah, they begrudgingly have Linux versions on GOG, and they made it very difficult for anyone to upload
it.
the Linux version and
You wanna
update it.
Jump through some extra hoops. Yeah.
You want to upload the build of the game to an FTP server and have it be manually reviewed? That's completely separate from all the other processes? Yeah.
I just want a client, because this is 2020, man. Like, the days I spent 20 years like having a games folder with like, oh, okay, I want to play this game. What's my library look like? And how is it working? Steam's like, yo, like, oh, that's how normal people live. I like
Click
this.
the play button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to install something? Type it in. Right. Done. I'm sold. I sold out. What? Yeah. It's like, I'm happy with my license.
Yeah, I'm very happy with paying Valve for a license and occasionally being able to pull the files out of the folder that they downloaded from. It's like, oh look, it's DRM free. I don't actually need Steam running. Which is most of the Linux games.
Yeah, 99% of the time, if you're pulling something out of the folder, you're just getting assets. I mean, I probably have a dozen or so games that I've bought that I've never played through Steam. It's like, that has an open source engine re-implementation. Neat. All right, let me buy that real quick. Yoink. I've never tried to launch it. Like Tomb Raider was the last thing when I just set that up to get it running. That is fun. What did GOG do? They never supported Linux. With their Galaxy client. Boo earns.
Yeah, no, they got their fifis hurt after the Linux community rightly pointed out the shenanigans that were going on with The Witcher 2.
I would disagree that soulless corporations have fifis. Or do they operate on them?
Well, clearly the Linux community hurt something because they didn't like it.
No, I think they legitimately went to the lowest bidder, which was virtual programming, for Witcher 2, and they said, here, have that.
port.
And you know what? The next day they went on with their life. They didn't like, oh no, they're upset. It was like, we didn't update it, deal with it. Here, be grateful. We're CD Projekt Red. There.
So, yeah, no.
That's
They burned me as a customer when I bought The Witcher 2.
Yeah.
And I got a refund from Valve before refunds on Steam were even a thing.
I waited until it was I had it because they're like, hey, it's Linux. Why does it run so bad? I waited until last year to play The Witcher 2 because I finally started working on Proton. Way better than it did under the virtual programming. But, I'm sorry, like game... outside of indies, man, like they're just another soulless corporation. Yeah, you got some love for them right now because they're making games that you like. And oh, look, they got the Keanu Reeves person. They don't care about you. Not even a little bit. So I like what they did with the Best Buy messed up and they released early this week, I think Monday. Cyberpunk 2077. No, it was before that. It was last week. It was like Friday.
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, they shipped out the PS4 versions of Cyberpunk. And all of the streamers who had contracts with CD Projekt Red, they're like, yo, these people without contracts and anything that they're streaming it. We can't stream it right now. And they're like, nope. Because...
At that point, it's like, okay, I'm going to get more money out of the people watching me than from your contract.
I've seen some of those deals firsthand. No, you're not.
Yeah, probably not.
No, but I've seen some of the stupid money thrown around, which, hey, you're buying commercials. You know, that's the whole point of getting somebody to stream something for you. I would feel weird, man, because... first of all, you wouldn't approach me. You might approach Pedro. Pedro could probably find something positive to say about a negative. I'd say, what is this?
You could give me the worst game on the planet, and I would probably have something to say about it. Probably not positive, but I would find something to say about it.
I'm trying
Legends
to
of
have a good time
Aetherius.
with
I
it.
haven't forgotten. Actually, speaking of not saying positive things, one of the things the developers of Hunt Down the Freeman, which was that really bad sort of a Half-Life in between a game, they actually embraced the jank because at first they were really, really upset that everyone was pointing out that the game was terrible. It was buggy, it was messy, it was annoying, and it was just poorly done. But now they've embraced it. If you go to the store page, or if you happen to have the game in your library, you actually see, like, protagonist person holding the two source error boxes, the blinky ones. You see the protagonist holding two of those, and the achievements are like SV cheats 1, which is the source engine thing to enable cheats. It's like, yeah, we sort of expect you to do this at some point. All of the achievements are like self-referential, and
what was that zombie game that we got all those years ago? Did that ever come out? It was the Source Engine zombie game that they were working on. It was you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You want to call it 7 Days to Die, but that's not it.
No. No, it's not Contagion. Contagion's a different one.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about, too.
No More Room in Hell.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
the hell something helped.
I just
Yeah.
remember that because that was my first experience with walls of like no texture.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like, oh, we couldn't find the textures. Oh, that's right, the texture is capped, but the actual source code, it's lowercase.
We're gonna have to see. That'd be curious, man. See how much time that would save if you threw that flag in on the file system.
And you can do it per directory. So I may be tempted to completely wipe the Steam library SSD and reintroducing, I don't know if 2004, if the kernel has the ext4 case insensitivity. But yeah, I'm half tempted.
I don't think it would hurt anything, you know?
No, and it is a dedicated SSD just for games. That's what I got it for.
Yeah.
So.
I don't even. I'm pretty bad about just XFS all the things. What did I just accidentally open? Oh, Task Manager. That's why you opened over there. Disk. What are you formatted as? Steam drive? Oh, ext4. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I use for Steam too.
I remember Farrell back in the day going, please don't put our games on an XFS drive, please.
I remember that actually.
The two drives that I hammer on constantly are both XFS because they just have multi-gig, and I'm talking like, you know, like this show that I just wrote 120, 130 gigs to it.
I have the MD with the two 850 EVOs, Samsung 850 EVO SSDs. YOLO RAID is running on BTRFS. There's a BTRFS volume in the system. It's that.
I don't have to tinker with it, man. Thank you, Inertia. You're awesome. The 1 terabyte SSD, Samsung, it legitimately can, you know, it's not just like, oh, it can do 500 meg writes for 10 seconds. No. You can just pound it with 500 megs a second for an hour at a time. And it's like, I got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the correct structure of the sentence. Dark Wing, play with it.
I have the X240 is running all BTRFS. And I have another laptop that's also running BTRFS, but I don't remember which one. Well, it's one of them.
Major problems.
Look, I know that this HP laptop right here, it's the only HP laptop I have left. This one is running Haiku.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It actually runs Haiku pretty well. The Wi-Fi card is supported out of the box. There's no hardware acceleration, even though it's only like an Intel integrated graphics thing. But there's no hardware acceleration anywhere. It's all software renderer, and away you go.
Well, what are we doing the rest of the day, people? Got anything fun?
I'm putting food in my mouth.
Starving. I didn't have much earlier today.
Weirdos
so.
with your day eating.
Yes.
I eat 3 times a day.
Yeah. It's too much work.
I like cooking. It's cleaning up after myself that I don't like. But
I enjoy
See, I don't like
cooking,
the
I like.
cooking, but I like the cleaning.
I don't get that.
Well, it's because Steve doesn't like the cooking either. That's why they have takeout every day. I'm sure that's an immaculate kitchen. It gets dusted occasionally.
Well, I suppose all the takeout boxes got to go somewhere.
Well, I mean, everyone has, like, my living room. My living room just gets dusted. I walk through it occasionally. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, here's a Ven pro tip. Somebody invites you over to their house and, like, hey, we're going to make some food. And you go, they're cooking and they have, like, some, like, spotless kitchen. I don't trust that. I'm like, you don't cook a lot. Nah, I'm good. Don't end up getting poisoned. All right. I think that'll do us. We don't have anything else pressing going on. It's my car.
I do not believe
Right
so.
there. Right where I need it. Just, it's too high.
Yeah,
So it's that perfect. And it's my fault too because it was squeaky. It was a little grindy.
Oh.
So I hit it with some
you
Teflon spray, some of the
you
like,
loosened it up.
super stuff, and that's where it decided that it's like, yeah, just right here, man, deal with it. And it's got a lot of weight on it, but we make it work. It's silent, and I can move it out of my way. I can move it around while we're working. So I need to find a smaller pop filter, but it won't really change anything because I got all this. I'm used to looking through it, over it, around it. Get some VR goggles. That's what I'll do. Your VR headset. Do you think we're ever going to get to that point where we'll be able to slap it on, like, no monitors? You just put on your headset and, like, haptics is going to be good enough to where you think you're actually hitting a keyboard and...
No, that would be cool.
No.
No?
That just not having any monitors, absolutely. I think we're already at that point. You'll just have a fixed display, but it will work as just a display area.
I just don't think the resolution's high enough yet. Like,
Yeah, it isn't.
Doesn't the index have like 2K per eye?
It does actually. Yeah.
that's cute. That's nowhere near what I would need. I mean, I'd be talking like an 8K minimum.
We don't have a GPU for that yet. As much as Nvidia would like to claim that the 3090 8K game, no.
Yeah.
No.
XFS is the business. That's what I don't know. I want to live that life. I want some little, like, super thin goggles that I just put on that I just sit in, like, an empty room. Like, yeah. Mainly so I can record it and laugh at myself. But
I really want, like, the omnidirectional treadmill thing. There have been,
Those
like...
are cool, actually.
Like, I've seen, like, full room implementations of that you can actually get a pretty good run-up before it stops being able to keep up with your speed.
yeah.
I want that. I want to be able to go into a game and just...
I hear people say
Explore.
that, but I've seen people just tucker themselves out swinging a no-weight Wii controller that had the motion set on full. Like, oh, this.
Yeah.
No, I'm done with that.
I want that experience of, like, going through a proper Fallout VR game, even if it is a Bethesda-made one. Now they're owned by Microsoft, so maybe the next one won't be quite so bad. Maybe. But yeah, I want that experience of just enjoying that world in full immersion VR. I want that.
I can drop you off somewhere. How are you parachuting?
Without, the actual associated dangers of the whole thing.
Fine.
I just want it to work for someone with one eye, and that's the difficulty. There is a company.
No stereoscopy. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a company that was attempting to help people that had major issues, and one was a wraparound screen. Even though it's not stereoscopic, it still gives you,
still gives you a wild
virtual...
FOV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I want 8K, but that's just, I want the real estate, man. I want more stuff on the 7 monitors, need more. Yeah. And it's not like a monitor collection either. All right. Cool. Bounce out of here. I'm going to go make some podcast show things for the internet. And they will be available later. So, and maybe we got lucky last week. Every now and then YouTube is capable of beating or at least tying me with I push out the Twitch VOD to YouTube, and it's like, that it's like that to send it over. And I have this system set up to where cruising speed, not rushing, cruising speed, 1.5 to 2 hours turnaround time on these shows. And that's for the video and everything, show notes and all that. There's been 99% of the time I get done, I get everything uploaded to YouTube too. And like, doop. All right, how's that VOD? YouTube's like, okay, you started on it, man. What are you talking about? Get out of here.
4% processing.
No, 0. I'll send you a screenshot because I'll post that in Discord later. I'm willing to bet money. That's exactly, some fluke last week. I'm like, what? Huh. So I was able to get that in the Patreon post. I got that posted. So keep an eye out for that. Those get posted in Discord, like especially on Wednesdays. I've been meaning to make a mention of that. Like if you're waiting for like the Uncut VOD on YouTube, announcements tab in Discord. That's where those get posted when they are available. So yeah. All right, everyone. We're going to bounce out of here.
Bye, everyone.
Stay warm or stay cool, depending on which fear of Hemi you're currently occupying. Yes.